The events begin with Thomas. He wakes up from a coma. He finds himself rising in a metal elevator, confused and unaware of anything. Suddenly, the elevator stops and its ceiling opens. In front of him, he sees a group of boys, and our guy is scared. He doesn't understand where he is or who these people are. One of them pulls him out. He says, "Who are you, and what do you want from me?" He tries to escape from them, but it's no use. He discovers he's trapped in a massive prison with no way out, so they lock him in a cell until he calms down. Then we see a person named Albie ask him about his name. He says, "I don't remember anything about my life. I even forgot my name." He asks, "What do you want from me?" Albie tells him, "Don't worry, buddy. We were all like you when we first got here. Give it 2 or 3 days and you'll remember your name." Thomas says, "Please, I'm begging you. Explain what this place is. My heart is going to stop from fear." So Albie takes him and explains everything to him. He tells him, "These boys were exactly like you. They suddenly found themselves here and didn't remember anything about their lives, but they adapted to life here. Then they go up to a wooden tower." He tells him, "Do you see that maze in front of you? It's surrounding the entire place, and it's forbidden to enter it for any reason. Simply put, those who enter never come out." After a while, he meets Chuck, a cool kid and a loyal friend. If he saw a hungry spider, he'd buy it a fly to eat out of kindness. While Thomas is talking to him, he sees 2 boys coming out of the maze. Their names are Ben and Minho. So Thomas says to Chuck, "I heard it's forbidden to go in there. Where were those guys?" Chuck says, "They're the runners. They enter the maze every day to search for a way out." This sparks Thomas's curiosity. He wants to enter the maze and understand exactly what's inside. Before he enters, Gally pushes him away from the entrance. He tells him, "You look like you have a death wish." Thomas gets angry and says, "What do you want from me? Let me go." Suddenly, something strange happens. The maze door closes by itself. If he had entered, he would have died. Gally says, "Next time, I'll let you go in, hero." At night, he meets someone named Newt. He tells him, "This maze is much bigger than you think. Its doors open in the morning at sunrise and close at sunset. As soon as they open, the runners enter it, searching for a way out, but with no success. It's been 3 years like this. Every day, they go in, and there's no result. And if the door closes on them one day before they return, it's a disaster." Thomas asks, "What happens to them?" He tells him a vicious creature called the Griever attacks them. Moments later, Thomas remembers his name and says, "My name is Thomas." The boys are happy and throw a party. But the problem is he still doesn't remember anything about his past life. The next day, he's harvesting fruit with his friend Newt. Newt asks Thomas to get him some fertilizer from among the trees, so he goes looking for it. He's surprised to see runner Ben silently following him. He says, "What's wrong with you, man? You scared me. At least cough or something." "Who scares people like that?" Ben looks terrifying, almost like a zombie. All he keeps saying is, "I'll kill you." Suddenly he attacks him, but Thomas runs away. Ben is determined to kill him. Thomas screams for help and calls out to anyone to save him. Thankfully, Newt hits Ben on the head and saves Thomas. They restrain Ben tightly and examine his body. They find a bite mark on his abdomen. At that point, they had to get rid of him because he was a danger to them. If they left him like that, he'd kill them all. So they wait for sunset, force him into the maze and close it behind him. That way the creature would feed on him. While Thomas is asleep, he dreams of a girl in a lab, as if she was experimenting on him. He wakes up from the dream, terrified, trying to remember what he saw. By coincidence, he sees the maze gate open. Albie enters it with the runner Ben, even though Albie isn't a runner. He meets Newt and tells him what happened. He asks, "Why did Albie go in? I want to go in too." Newt replies, "Albie is the oldest one here and understands everything. My advice? Mind your own business." After a long day, the sun begins to set, and the runners still haven't returned. Of course, if the gate closes on them, the creature will get them and tear them apart. Everyone is standing on edge as the maze door starts to close. Suddenly, Minho appears, carrying Albie. He's injured. The door is about to shut and there's no time. Everyone loses hope. But Thomas rushes in at the last second and the door closes behind him. Minho says, "Why did you enter? Are you crazy? In just minutes, the creature will come and finish us all." We find out Albie was bitten. Minho hit him with a rock on the head to knock him out and carry him. At that moment, they hear the sound of the creature. Thomas is scared for Albie and wants to hide him. Minho gets angry and says, "We're all about to die right now." But Thomas has hope. He gets a clever idea. He uses a rope to lift Albie to a high place, far from the creature. Suddenly the creature appears. Minho runs off and leaves. Our guy is panicking. If he lets go of the rope, Albie will fall. He hides among the plants while still holding the rope. The creature passes right by him and doesn't notice him. He seizes the moment, ties the rope, and hides at the last second before the creature sees him. After a while, the creature disappears. Thomas's heart is about to stop from fear. Imagine, where is the creature? We discover it's right above him. As soon as it sees him, it screams and he starts running. Then he climbs a high rock and keeps running on it until he reaches the end. Of course, the creature is right behind him. He takes a deep breath and jumps onto a tall wall, clinging to a tree. The creature jumps after him and refuses to let go, but he manages to trap the creature in the vines and escapes. He finds Minho in front of him. Minho says, "The maze is going to change and the gate will close. We need to get to the other side." Thomas waits until the creature sees him. As soon as it attacks, the maze walls close on it and kill it. The next day, the maze door opened, and the boys were shocked that they were alive. That never happened before. Albie was still unconscious, and if he woke up, he would kill them all because he got stung and infected with the virus. We notice that Gally isn't acting right, and he hates Thomas. After a while, he gathered the group and told them Thomas should be punished because he broke the rules and went into the maze on his own. Minho told him, "On the contrary, he's the bravest person I've ever seen. If it wasn't for him, the Griever would have killed me." While they were talking, they heard the elevator sound and realized someone must have arrived. They ran toward it and found a new girl unconscious, holding a note that said she was the last one to arrive. Suddenly she woke up and said Thomas, then passed out again. Everyone looked at Thomas, thinking he must be hiding something. He said, "I swear guys, this is the first time I've ever seen her." They moved her somewhere to rest and waited for her to wake up. Thomas told Minho, "We have to go back into the maze. If we stay here, we won't get anywhere, and we'll all die." So Minho gathered a few of the boys and they went into the maze. As soon as they entered, they found a dead Griever. When they examined the body, they found a tracking device inside it, labelled with the number 7. Clearly there's a mystery behind this. They brought it back to the Glade and guessed that the organisation keeping them trapped was also the one that created the Grievers. But Gally, the annoying one, couldn't stand Thomas and wanted to punish him in any way. Then Newt, who turned out to be a good guy, said, "Here's the deal. Starting tomorrow, Thomas will be one of the runners and allowed to enter the maze any time." Of course, Gally didn't like that and walked away. Later, Minho took Thomas to the runner's room since he was now one of them. He told him, "We discovered years ago that it's impossible to get out of the maze, but I lied to the group so they wouldn't lose hope." He explained that there are 8 doors at the end of the maze. Every night the maze changes and one of the 8 doors opens automatically. The people holding them there do that so they can't memorise the maze layout. At that moment they were told that the girl had woken up and was causing chaos. They found out she had climbed up the tower and was throwing rocks at them, scared. Thomas told her, "Calm down, Teresa. We're with you, not against you." He climbed up to talk to her and reassure her. She said, "My name is Teresa and I don't remember anything about my life." She pulled 2 tubes out of her pocket, filled with some kind of substance, and told him, "I don't know what these are." Thomas had a feeling that maybe this stuff could cure Albie. Of course, after Albie got stung, Minho hit him with a rock, and he hadn't woken up since. Before he could even finish the sentence, Albie woke up and started transforming because of the sting. Thomas said, "Well, if he's going to die anyway, we should inject him with this stuff. Maybe it'll cure him." They injected him and left him. The next day, the door opened, and Thomas and Minho went into the maze, bringing the tracking device with them. As soon as they reached door 7, the device made a loud sound. They realised it was guiding them in the right direction. They followed the sound from the device until they reached the door. Suddenly, the red light turned green, and the door opened in front of them. Minho said, "This is the first time in my life I've reached this place." Suddenly, a laser came out of the place, and the door closed in their faces. It seemed like the maze recognised that a stranger was inside, like it was waiting for the Griever holding the device. Anyway, they got out of the maze before it closed on them. As soon as they arrived, Teresa told them that Albie woke up, and they discovered he was cured from the sting and recovered safely. But strangely, he remembered everything about his life. He told them it was impossible to get out of that place, and also said that Thomas was working with the organisation that brought them there, that he was one of their favourites. At that moment, they heard the sounds of Grievers, and fear spread everywhere. When they went to check the source of the noise, they were shocked to see that the maze door was still open, even though night had fallen. That had never happened before. The boys were on edge, their hearts pounding with fear. What do you think happened? Suddenly, the Grievers attacked everyone in the Glade. All the maze doors opened, and Grievers flooded in, attacking everyone in sight. They killed anyone who stood in their way without mercy. Thomas and the others hid, but the Griever reached them and tried to grab Chuck. Albie, the brave one, sacrificed himself to save Chuck. Before he died, he asked Thomas to save the others. The Griever dropped its stinger, the one it used to inject venom. Amid all the chaos, Thomas decided to sting himself with the Griever's venom. Then Teresa injected him with the antidote to bring his memory back. It worked. He began to remember part of his life. We learn that he used to work with the organisation, alongside Teresa. They witnessed people dying in front of them, and once they objected, they were banished to the Glade. The next day, he woke up to find himself locked in with Teresa, and the others told them the Grievers had killed some of the group. They re-entered the maze. Thomas said, "I remembered part of my life. Teresa and I worked for an organisation called Wicked. Everyone here is just an experiment to them. When Teresa and I objected, they punished us by sending us here. Newt told him, "Forget the past. We have to find a solution to this disaster." We learn that Gally planned to offer Thomas and Teresa as sacrifices to the Grievers by sending them into the maze and waiting for sunset so the doors would close behind them. But Thomas pretended to be asleep, then suddenly woke up and attacked the ones holding him. Everyone turned against Gally and tried to convince him to come into the maze with them, hoping to find an exit. But he was stubborn and insisted on staying, so they left him behind to avoid wasting time and entered the maze, hoping to find a way out. As soon as they reached door 7, they were surprised to find a Griever waiting. They agreed to face it together as one. They bravely stood their ground and succeeded in killing it. But then a large number of Grievers appeared, and things got out of hand. Thankfully, Teresa and Chuck opened the door, and the group entered the safe zone, closing the doors behind them, trapping the Grievers and ending the threat. They found themselves in a long corridor with no end in sight. In front of them was a door labelled Exit. As soon as they opened it, they were shocked to find a place that looked like a lab. Everyone inside was dead. Not a single survivor. It was as if a monster had come in and wiped them all out. Thomas pressed a button in front of him, and a video of Dr. Ava, the head of the organisation, appeared. She said their mission was to protect planet Earth from natural disasters, that they were part of a test to help them adapt to the new world, because the world had been completely scorched by the sun, and a zombie-like virus had spread, wiping out the human race. Suddenly she pulled out a gun and shot herself in front of them. Then a door opened for them to leave. Finally, the moment they'd all been waiting for had come. The problem was, Gally showed up with a weapon, and he looked like he had been stung. He said, "Over my dead body. If even one person gets out alive, I'll kill all of you." He fired his weapon at Thomas, but Chuck sacrificed himself to save him. Minho threw a spear and killed Gally. Thomas was devastated over Chuck, watching him take his last breath. Suddenly, a group of masked people entered. They had come to rescue them from that place. They had to drag Thomas away because he didn't want to leave his friend Chuck behind. When they got out, they saw the world had turned into a desert. They were taken aboard a helicopter and looked down at the maze, completely shocked by what they saw. Meanwhile, on the other side, we saw Dr. Ava, still alive. We realised she had staged the whole thing so they would trust the organisation, and now a new phase of experiments on the teens would begin. What do you think they'll do to them in part 2? I'll see you in the next part, and most importantly, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Bye bye!